The Flash, Fastest Man Alive issue 6 sees Barry and Iris out on a date, where Barry can't stop thinking about how perfect the world would be if people stopped talking and not always looking at their phones. Iris says that something is actually happening, and looking at her phone, she knows the senators in Congress have somehow declared war on Canada. She rushes off to get to work on the story as Barry activates his costume ring, knowing this all feels like monkey business. The Flash races to the Capitol, knowing Gorilla Grodd is somewhere around the town. He knows the gorilla doesn't like enclosed spaces, so he might be out near the Lincoln Memorial. Going there, he finds some armed men shooing away tourists. The men immediately open fire on the hero, who slows time, picking the bullets out of the air and placing them at the men's feet, saving a family from them. Racing to the men, he knows that they aren't mind-controlled, just hired muscle, paid with gold from Gorilla City. Returning to normal speed, he leaves the men to dance around their own bullets as he heads into the memorial, intent on using the gift he got from Star Labs to stop Grodd. Grodd, perched on the Lincoln statue, says that he assumed another hero would defend this region, but Barry says that if he gave it any thought of what people do at all, it would be easier to see his hand pulling their strings, and when Grodd messes with the whole country, Flash doesn't mind leaving Central City for a bit. Flash is suddenly forced to hit himself in the face by Grodd, who says that the world belongs to his kind, led only by him. Flash tries to resist the villain's mind control, and Grodd notes that the hero's metabolism is helping him fight back. Because of that, Grodd turns the tourists on the Flash, telling them to kill him. Flash knows he can't fight off both the people and Grodd's mind control for long, so he needs some air. Racing outside the memorial, he uses his speed to suck all the air out of the building, causing the people and Grodd to flee outside. Flash comes for Grodd, delivering a quick 100 punches to his face, telling him that's for meddling with the government and for sitting on Abe Lincoln. Grodd takes it Flash doesn't like his plan, asking what he would want him to do with the power to change minds. Barry is shown a vision of a world where Grodd uses his power to get rid of nuclear weapons, reform the prison and education systems, and make the whole world cleaner and safer, with heroes and villains like Aquaman and Poison Ivy helping. Flash manages to snap out of it, knowing none of it is right. Racing into the memorial, he grabs the cerebral and strength dampening gear he got from Star Labs, quickly covering Grodd in it. Grodd says that even if the hero had a chance to save the world, he doesn't have what it takes, and Flash agrees, but he doesn't want a better world, not by making people change, since people and even apes have to choose their own destiny. As they leave, Flash says the US invading Canada was never going to look normal to him or anyone, but Grodd wonders why it wouldn't, since it's right there in front of them. Later on, as Barry finishes up his CSI work, hoping to get to the Apollo anniversary in time, he hears a call over the police scanner, knowing the Flash's work is far from done. Speeding into the city, he helps a little girl who has become trapped by downed power lines. The girl's father thanks Flash as he races off to the 50th anniversary of the Apollo moon landing. Flash joins the crowd, telling them that he's a huge astronaut fan and they are his heroes. Soon though, one of the old astronauts takes to the stage to reveal the whole thing was faked and they never even left Earth. Flash rushes to the stage, asking why he would say something like that, and the old man says that he got paid a lot of money back then to lie. Flash knows the astronaut must be ill, racing across the country so he can get the Green Lantern to take him to the moon so he can take pictures of the lander that's there. As he runs, he spots a farm full of animals who seemingly talk. Flash asks the pig how he's talking, learning that they do and they just don't when humans are around. Barry knows this is getting too much and maybe a whole run around the world will clear his head. As he runs, he finds some icebergs in places where there shouldn't be, and soon he ends up running off the side of the Earth, shocked to learn that the Earth is indeed flat. Barry knows that none of this makes sense, and racing back onto the flat Earth, he finds a boat whose sailors thought Flash was a goner, having forgotten that the world was flat and everyone knows to turn back when you hit the Great Ice Wall. Barry knows this is all crazy and everything he has ever learned is wrong, and he knows something changed today, remembering the power line rescue from earlier and how the little girl touched him, stinging him with something which he thought was just electricity. He then realizes the kid's name was Ruse, and suddenly he begins putting it all together. So heading to his lab, he scans his brain, finding nanites have infected his body and are receiving signals from the outside. Locking onto the signals, he races to the Central City radio station, but soon the visions come back, so he diverts through a mountain full of iron, using his phasing ability to trap anything metallic in the mountain, a trick he learned when he painfully lost a tooth filling when he did it the first time. With the nanites gone, he heads to the radio station and the trickster loses track of Flash, unhappy since he was readying even more conspiracy theories to fill the hero's head with. Flash soon arrives, tying up the villain and complimenting him on his out-of-the-box ideas. Trickster says that he'd become inspired while reading, and since he knew Flash is a big science science guy, tricking him into making him question everything he knows would be great, and Flash realizing that the Earth is flat is a memory he will treasure forever. As Flash runs the villain to the cops, he learns that the little girl he saved was just a robot, designed solely to inject him with the nanites. The cops welcome Axel back as one of them apologizes to Flash, telling him they'll double security. However, Flash wants to run the Trickster's library checkout list for him, since he wants to do some reading of his own. The Flash Fastest Man Alive issue 6 was a cool collection of stories that both tested the hero's skills mentally and physically. Grodd's story was great, with him trying to invade Canada and Barry having to use his speed and mind to outwit the villain, while Trickster's story was a really fun, conspiracy heavy story. Trickster changing up the way he pulls tricks on the hero is really cool, and I'd love to see that type of writing come into the main continuity for Axel as well. I really enjoyed the Gail Simone stories, and now Jeff Parker have both put a focus on Flash's science background, which I really enjoy, and I like how he uses it almost daily in his job as the Flash. It makes him different than, say, Batman or Superman, and it's really cool. I'm going to give this issue a 9 out of 10.